Hi everybody, welcome to this week's question and answer video for Monday. I do this every single Monday, so I'm answering you guys' questions with the last question and answer video I did last Monday. And I please encourage all of you to go down below in the comment section, ask me any question you want, and come back next Monday to the next Q&A video to find my answer, to hear my answer. And please let me know if I missed your question, if I didn't understand it, or you don't understand my answer, or if I'm wrong, something like this. Please keep it going. I encourage all of you, please, to just leave your locations. I'd appreciate it if you could just tell us kind of where you are if you ask a question, or just pop in and say hi. And I'd appreciate it for those of you who have not yet supported my petition I started over a year ago. Please consider supporting it. It's right down below in the comment section and the description box. It's called Stop Narcissistic Online Bullying. It's at change.org/stopbullies. It's global. It's for all of you. And I have a very small percentage of people that are supporting this petition. So I would hope that you guys would just consider following the link and tapping it. It doesn't cost any money. It's not going to bother you. You might get a follow-up email from them, something like that. You can spam it if that's the case. But and I'd love feedback to anybody who won't sign the petition. I haven't heard anybody tell me why. So I'd appreciate it. I'd really like to stop this stuff. It's the #1 cause of death is young people taking their own lives because of this. #1 cause. Really, really sad. I posted a video last week of a 10-year-old boy who took his life because of being bullied in school. And I got the least amount of feedback. I got like 10, 12 likes, a couple comments. It's weird that all of us are in here together learning about abuse and people abusing and bullying people, but most of you won't support this petition to help stop this kind of stuff. The petition itself is directed at CEOs of different platforms that allow this stuff to continue, the place where people are being bullied and taking their own lives. So I'm really hoping to make a difference, but I can't without your guys' support, and I appreciate all of you that do. Thank you very much. So let's get into the questions. First one is it's a statement from SYSYE. I have both autism and ADHD. I wonder if I was already born this way, or if having a narcissist father made me like this. There's a comment that I've seen often, and it's kind of like the question that a lot of people ask is, with autism, is did the trauma come before or after the autism? I know that autism is considered a developmental disorder, and we now know that ADHD is from childhood neglect. ADD, ADHD, and all anxiety is from childhood neglect, if that helps. And we could have developed autism early in life and also be neglected and develop ADHD. It's hard to know, huh? And Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. There is a manager at work that talks to employees in a very disrespectful way. But when the owner of the business is there, she acts like she is so friendly. She is family of the owner because her brother has married the owner's sister, so she is family. Everyone is too scared to say anything, so they don't tell the owner. And that's one reason why family and business just don't mix. It's like oil and water. You want to have problems at work? Hire family. Hire your friends. Our brains don't work this way, and this is one of many problems that happens. You have to deal with this, Emily, the politics at the job site, at the workplace. And Emily says, thank you for talking about emotional needs. I don't think many of us have had our emotional needs met growing up. If you're watching this video, it's probably the actual very root of your problems. You didn't have your needs met in childhood. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't identify that, can't see it, or accept it when it's in front of them. Shay Nali says, I think Dr. Gabor Mate also says ADHD is due to early childhood neglect. Yes, he is awesome, you guys. I don't know if I say his first name right, Gabor. I think it's Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate. I saw him like on Joe Rogan or something last year. I can't remember. And he's incredible. I mean, this is a person who didn't stop at his formal education and has done many lots of studies and followed up on research and has made the statement, come out and say it, that ADHD is from early childhood neglect, and it totally is. And it's not new. We've known this for decades, probably maybe 60, 70 years. We've known this. Unfortunately, it didn't enter formal education, universities, and stuff like this. Hopefully, it will someday, because that education is pretty expensive to not know stuff like this. Yeah, and also he says all anxiety too. Shayna Lee, by the way, and everyone. He says all adult anxiety is from early childhood neglect. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. Hello again, David. Some of my memories about reactionary abuse center around my more subdued responses. I'm not proud of some of the ways I reached or reacted in these situations. By the time I said or did something, God, I'm reading all wrong. By the times I said or did nothing seemed to do more harm to me emotionally in the long term. Can you please speak of the damage of holding it in, silencing yourself, how it can affect you in the long run? Thanks, David. You know that feeling when you feel really bad? Your family made you feel really bad when you're a child, and they don't want to hear it, and you know that, and you can't say a word about it. Yes, there's anger, but there's that deep, deep feeling that drops down into your stomach and makes your stomach feel bad. It's like that shame. These are emotions. Think of it as energy in motion. This is negative energy in motion in your body, and we can keep it in or we can get it out, and we know that keeping it in is the number one cause of disease. You keep having that feeling, and then all of a sudden you have ulcers. All of a sudden you're getting feet of your intestine removed. All of a sudden you have autoimmune disease, ADHD, ADD, and anxiety. It also kills. Number one way to kill your self-respect, lower your self-worth, confidence, self-esteem, all of it. It affects your psyche, to your soul, to yourself. So incredibly damaging. And you're not even talking about childhood. You're just talking about adult relationships. Yeah, we can't keep it in. It makes us feel like, it's like the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt, I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. And we can easily turn something we did bad into I'm a bad person. And somebody can help us do that too, by shaming us, by not allowing us to, express our emotions. Reactionary, if you're talking about reactionary abuse, because that's what you started talking about, we do things that don't best say who we are, right? I try to say I value honesty and respect to people and integrity, and then I go and spit in somebody else's face because they spit in mine. Not literally, but say bad things to me. I say bad things to you. That doesn't feel good. I've said this before, and I guarantee this: no matter what kind of bad situation or experience that you've had or you're having, you can always at least walk away feeling good about yourself by staying true to yourself, to who you believe that you are, who you tell people who you are, who you show who you are. When somebody disrespects me, I don't have to disrespect them back. I can respectfully walk away, and it feels good. And so that kind of shows that you can hurt yourself and damage yourself a lot more than anybody else can. Period. Thank you, Rory. Frank from Florida again. Hi, Frank. Again, I have a question for next week. I've been dating my ex. Man, I'm having troubles reading today. I've been dating my recent girlfriend for a while now, and I've noticed some troubling behavior. She is very clingy, needing to be in constant contact with me all the time. She rushed and pressured sex right off the bat. She told me she hated her children, who don't speak to her anymore. She constantly talks about other men she slept with and her guy friends in an act to triangulate me with them. She told me that she doesn't have any empathy for anyone. I was recently facing homelessness again once I lost my job, and when I told her, she started laughing, and I got upset, and she said, "You are too sensitive," and that's the way that she deals with serious situations, is to laugh. And I'm the only one who has a problem with it. She also constantly talks shit about her friends who do things for her. We recently broke up because I wouldn't call out of my new job in order to help her move. Please, any advice from you would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, David. There's a little more here. Your wisdom has helped thousands. Also in the beginning, she was sweet and nurturing. She just turned after I started liking her. Always in the beginning. In the beginning, she was sweet, and she was nice, and she was loving. So, let's just go right down the line here. She is very clingy and needy. That's red flag. Might feel good when we aren't the healthiest, best version of ourselves, and then usually when we become a much better version of ourselves, we don't like that anymore. That dependency, trying to enmesh real quick, get sucked in real quick, and she'll be on her best behavior and tell you all the things that you want to hear and mirror you and say, me too. She wants to be in constant contact with me. Then you lose your autonomy. She rushed and pressured sex right off the bat. That's where you say no. That's why you don't go to their house. You don't go to your house for a very long time. She told me she hated her children who don't speak to her. Well, at least they don't speak to her. Which came first? Does she only hate her children because they won't speak to her? I bet they won't speak to her, and she hates them. You want someone in your life that hates their children? A mother that tells you she hates her children, you want in your life. Are you sure? Do we have some standards? I'll tell you that my biggest red flag that I see in people, the most biggest thing that just gets me right away, and I don't want anything to do with you, somebody who says, my wife, my ex-wife, my husband, my ex-husband, my father, my mother, my family, my siblings, brother, sister, my friend, my old best friend, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend is a bad, horrible piece of shit. That is the biggest red flag ever. Just talking horrible about people, specific people with names. Yeah? I mean, you cared for these people at one point. It's one thing when you talk about a celebrity or a politician you hate so much, but you don't know. It's weird too. But you don't like something they do or believe in. But to say it about somebody that's in your life or was in your life and used to care for or you care for still, that is about as toxic as it gets, doesn't it? Not even my abusers do I want to sit and talk crap about. I've never mentioned anybody's name or anybody specific, even just telling you guys maybe some examples to share with you. Don't need to talk bad. I wish the best for them, I guess. Don't really care too much, but yeah, toxic and not healed from it, right? I can tell you one day after we've known each other for a year or two, after we talk, there's some story about a person's house being burnt down, and I can tell you, hey, my house burnt down years ago too. Or it can be the first thing I say when I meet you. And then the second date I see you, I tell you again, and then I just keep telling you my husband's a piece of shit, or that my house burnt down. Both I'm not healed from. But to talk badly, poorly, and share secrets and stuff like this about somebody who did trust me, who loved me, who I say I loved to them, I trust them, it's just sick. It's just sick. We don't talk bad about people like that. What's the point? Huh? Knock them down, put myself up higher. Okay, she hates her children, and she talks about other men she slept with. I don't want to hear that. A lot of you guys want to know how many partners or how many people your partner's had sex with in their lifetime. Why would you want to know that? Oh, you're not a virgin? Okay. Good enough for me. I mean, I don't want, that's it. Okay. It's not about insecurity. Insecurity would be, I want to know how many. How many? Who? What kind of people? How many times? I don't want to know. I don't want to judge you for your past either. And then she triangulates me, just sick abuse. She told me that she doesn't have any empathy. Okay, is that a red flag for you, Frank? Is that okay? Especially when I tell you. It's one thing I show you, but I just straight up, hey, I don't have empathy. I don't care. She laughed in your face when you're homeless. That's awesome. That's just nasty, disgusting. Oh, that's what I do about serious things. I laugh. Well, that's the biggest sign of immaturity. You want to spend your life with somebody who thinks serious things are all funny? Me. You know, you could be around children, babysit some children. They're like that. Crazy. And you're the only one that has a problem with it. Well, I should be the only one that matters. Right? Oh, other people don't have a problem with it. What does that say? Who cares? Yeah. And I could call you a bitch in your face, and I know some other women that don't have a problem with that. Okay? I mean, this is disgusting. I'm really sorry, Frank. She talks shit about her friends who do things for her, just totally exploitative, totally uses them, totally no respect, no self-respect, no integrity, no honesty, no loyalty, and then she doesn't meet anyone's needs. There's no emotional connection. You can't have any autonomy, no privacy, no security. Just sick, just toxic and disgustingly sick. You can tell it. You can show her this in the video. And also in the beginning, she was sweet and nurturing. Yeah, okay, right. Well, why was she being nurturing in the beginning anyway? When was this, the first date? Was she coddling you? Sorry. Too fast. Way too fast. You didn't even tell me any time limits, but I can tell. Too fast. You said that too. She talked you into having sex with her. Roy from Ohio. Hi, Roy. My question is, why are they so pained when we are right about something? This is what I wrote to Rory. A trait of narcissism is to be very competitive. Competition could be a good thing, but in an intimate relationship, there must be a certain amount of reciprocity, which keeps power in a relationship balanced. However, a narcissistic relationship is the imbalance of power, and you can become an opponent for the entirety of the relationship. The product of comparing ourselves to others is low self-esteem. The narcissist does that. Parents did that to them growing up, so they do it too. Now, lowest form of self-esteem ever, narcissist, NPD. They compare themselves to others. Well, my partner has to be lower than me somehow. They can raise my status in public, but I have to knock them down to keep myself up. There is no equity, there's no equality. Right? We're not equal. I think the narcissist definitely believes and supports that we're all different, right? They're so oddly unique and special and different, but their self-esteem is so low. They're not like someone who's depressed that just wants to be the same as everybody else. No, they have to be better than everybody else. That kind of overcompensation shows how low they believe they really are inside, right? Hope I answered your question, Rory. Let me know. Thanks. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. My question is, what do you think of the phrase, keep your friends close and your enemy even closer? I think that works out very well for extremely, extremely manipulative, Machiavellianistic people. Because why would you want enemies close to you? Unless you just plot and plan and scheme all day long. No thank you. I do have enemies, and I think it's a good thing to have enemies. Winston Churchill says, usually means you stood up for something sometime in your life. And I have. I do this, and because I do this, I call toxic people out, and there's toxic people out there on the internet that don't like me, calling them out in their toxic behaviors, so they try to demean me and slam me and slander me and smear me. So I've got enemies. Good. But I don't want any of you anywhere near me. Thank you. That's why I don't talk to you, about you, or have anything to do with you. I just let you do your little thing over there, waste your life. Yeah, that's what I think of the saying. Thanks, Victoria. And Tex Stalker says, Why are you doing this? You can see my watch history. I wasn't sure at first. I thought I knew what they meant, and I was right. Um, but they explained that, and I think I get this a lot from a lot of you viewers. It's like I'm explaining your relationship to a T. I've even had men jokingly say, "Did you date my girlfriend too?" Were you in the living room with us when all this happened? And I think that's what you're saying. You clarified that that's what you're saying. Can you see my watch history? Why are you doing this? Pretty scary, huh? When someone's life is so textbook and your relationship with them becomes so textbook. And it really is. Doing this for so many years, I've had the opportunity, and even in my personal life, to examine multiple relationships by the same person, toxic person with a cluster B personality disorder, and it's just remarkably similar, if not exactly the same. It's like they're already at limited functioning, which means they can't go any further than just one or two steps. And so it's always going to be the same. Always going to be the same. Go a couple steps and you just have to start over. Go a couple steps, start over. Go a couple steps, start over. And all these people can get together and say, yeah, they took a couple steps like this, after 1 month and 3 months, and then they did exactly this. And everyone's like, yep, that's exactly what they did. It's a trip. It's a trip. I've said before, people with personality disorders aren't more complex because people are so complex. They're more simple. You take a very multifaceted personality and you start shaving off the bits. You start shaving off the nice and the honesty and the kindness and the generosity and the compassion and the empathy and the integrity and all these things. And what you have left is a very simple person with a cluster B personality disorder. Hi, David Healing family from California. Hello. Thank you again for all the support you give, not only for me, but everyone else here. Thank you for thanking me. I think my fear is just coming from knowing his past family and his actions of always wanting to sue. You were stating that you're worried about your ex suing you in the last video. Crazy how I went from his Facebook of 8 years to a demon and bad person in his eyes from 1 second to the other. Splitting, that is a scary feeling to me. I'm still no contact with the ex undiagnosed BPD fiance, only about our children. The reason why this came up is because he asked if he could pick them up, and I said no, because I have a lot of concerns. I named them, including his instability, push-pull, etc. Then that's when he mentioned in a long text about that I damaged him and I'm the one to blame for all his symptoms. He didn't like what I said, and I think he suspects that I know now something is wrong with him. He's in denial, but I have figured it out now. What lawyer should I get advice from? Family lawyer? Yeah, that'd be a good start. Also, what do you think goes into their head when they know someone has picked up on their toxic behaviors and that we know something might be wrong with them? Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Not saying he's a narcissist, but the narcissist, a highly narcissistic person, typically rejects their entire childhood. Whether it's somebody who is, always succeeding and always great, the golden child, and the parents always, yeah, and never held him accountable, still ashamed of feelings that he had, any bad, negative, toxic feelings that he had or thoughts he can't say to his family, so he buries them inside, has bad feelings and shame and guilt, and then he rejects that whole thing and says, no, my childhood was perfect. Typically. And then here comes you holding up a mirror to his true self and says, look at how toxic you are. Look how gross you are. Look at all these crazy behaviors nobody else does but you. It's a shame. Doesn't want to look at himself. That's the person that doesn't apologize, doesn't take accountability, can't admit when he's wrong. Yeah, can't look at myself. Can't be alone. Can't introspect. So it's you. That's a personality disorder. Most, the common, very, very top common things about a personality disorder, traits or feelings or thoughts, is the person has a failure to look at themselves. And they blame everybody else around them. And this is pervasive. It's everywhere in all parts of their life. If they go to their job and they do that, and they come home and they do that, and they're with their friends and they do that, and when they go out they do that. And their brain has been wired to do that since they were a child. And so they think that it's everybody else's fault, and that's why they don't change typically. I mean, first part, look at myself, it's my fault, it is a problem, and it's mine. No, screw that. And they just just a pattern over and over and over again. I said, sometimes shaming him can keep him away. Sometimes shaming someone toxic like this that blames everybody else means they can't look at themselves. Then you can finally hold the mirror and say, no, this is you. And you said, you say, oh, I've done some research and I talked to professionals and they say that you have severe mental illness, that you have a personality disorder. And a very typical response to a personality disorder is not believing that it's you, not seeing that you are the problem and blaming everybody else around them for everything that you do, like what you're doing right now. I don't want to shame people. I don't suggest doing that, but you can tell them the truth. That's the same thing. Hold up, Mayor. He's sitting there blaming you. It's not wrong to say, no, it's actually you. But again, I wouldn't argue with him, converse with him. But anything we can do to keep him away from children, I'm down for. People say it's bad for parental estrangement. No, it's not. Not if they traumatize a child and damage them to the point where their nervous system doesn't work properly, where they have ADHD, massive anxiety. Oh God, no, we wouldn't want that parent not to be in that child's life, would we? No, I do. I would. Absolutely. Abusive, traumatizing parents aren't better than no parent. No. Especially if there's one parent already that can take care of the children. They don't need the drunk, abusive dad who abuses mom in front of the children and doesn't care for them anyways emotionally. Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. I also believe in divorcing our parents if we have to, that we choose our own family. Who cares if that blood's thicker than water, whatever the hell that means. Someone said blood's thicker than blood. Okay. Just me. You can help support this message if you believe what I'm doing is beneficial to you and other people who need this information. You can support it by thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell if you want to know when videos come out, more of my videos. And you can find me at daviddemars.com if you want coaching. I encourage all of you, please ask questions, tell us your location, support that petition. Most of all, love yourself first, guys. Thank you. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.